Hello, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I don't even know what I say at the beginning of my videos anymore. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. I've been meaning to go on every day since I came back from vacation, but my family was here, and honestly, I was trying to soak up every minute of that I could. And they left today. So there are quite a few things I want to talk about that took place in the last few days. Yeah, and just hang out with you guys. Dang, it's been a long time since I always say the same thing at the beginning of my lives, not intentionally. It kind of just happened that way. And then it just became what I said. But I don't know. Apparently today I don't remember exactly what I say. But anyways, let me say hello to you guys. And then we're going to talk about this has been like a big weekend for true crime. Summer Wells yesterday made 3 years since she had been missing. And I do want to just talk about that for a little bit. The suspect who took the life, the person who they suspect took the life of Rachel Morin was arrested. And there was a case that I was going to come on the other night, just a couple of days ago, to talk to you guys about we had actually talked about it briefly in a true crime news, but it was about a missing baby Miya. She was 8 months old and she has been found. So I want to talk about all of those things and just kind of hang out with you guys. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Neat Noodle. Hey, T. Michelle. I could not believe it. I am so glad he was caught, too. When I saw that, I was absolutely shocked, truly. Hey, Mayla's mom. Hello, Lynn. Hey, MK. Hey, Trio Girl Mom. Hey, Bean Feathers. Bellis, good to see you. 3 years, I know. Hey, Steffa. I've missed you. Good to see you. West Virginia Holla Girl. Hey, Grandma Sherry. Well, I'll talk you to sleep. And I hope you have a lovely nap time. Wait, I have an echo. Kung Fu Ken doll. Do I still have an echo? Hey, Tell the Truth. Nicole B. Good to see you. Hey, Nurse Kristen. Yeah, happy Father's Day to the dads. Hey, Diving Owl. Let me see if I got an echo still. You guys let me know. He didn't look what I thought he would from the Ring camera footage. I was pretty surprised too. I think we'll start with that. No echo. Okay, good. All right. So, hey, Crazy Mama. Hey, Crystal. Let me go ahead and we'll pull that up first. Now, this really got me thinking, because do you remember when this first happened, a lot of people were very suspicious of her boyfriend. He was at the rehab facility not far from where she was found. And yeah, he was another person who was blamed online and didn't happen to be involved. And he made a post. I'd gotten on Facebook today just to look at some of the posts that some of my family had made while they were here, because I don't do a lot of Facebook. So I will miss a lot if it's only there, or if it's more prevalent on Facebook, I may not see it. But I saw a post that he made I wanted to share with you guys. So let me grab that or show you that, and then we'll get into this article. But, it's just another person who's been blamed who was not involved. And the circumstances may look bad. He was in this rehab facility close to where she was found. But... So he posted, "Love you, baby. The news I got this morning is really indescribable. They captured Rachel's murderer. I try to forgive, but I swear on everything I love, you're going to rot in jail for the rest of your sorry ass life." But do you guys remember when he was kind of being blamed and stuff? Hey, Rhonda. Oh, I'm fresh in all this, so bring on the details. Awesome. Neat. Hey, Neat. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Tess. Good to see you guys. Hey, Riley. Okay. Like I said, just another person who was blamed by social media and was not involved at all. Okay, so let's check out this article. Now, this really shocked me. So that I watched the presser yesterday, and the man who has been arrested also is accused of taking the life of another woman just before this happened. So in 2023 in El Salvador, he takes the life of this other woman, comes to the U.S. illegally. No, I think it was March. Let's read the article because I was just trying to refresh my memory, but I don't want to say it wrong, and I very well could. I'm all over the place. I'm emotional today. My family leaving. It's a lot on my heart. So, anyways, I'm a little disheveled. So there has finally been an arrest in the high-profile murder of Rachel Morin, the mother of 5 who was killed along a popular hiking trail in Harford County, Maryland last year. Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, a 23-year-old undocumented immigrant from El Salvador, was arrested on Friday in Harford County. He was not arrested there, said Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor on Saturday during a news conference. He is being charged with first-degree murder and first-degree rape in Harford County. And the state's attorney, Allison Healy, will be the prosecutor on the case. Rachel was found murdered along the Mon Pa Trail last August. She went missing after going on a walk along a popular trail in Harford County. Law enforcement believe the suspect hid in a drainage culvert and attacked Morin while she was walking. Authorities were able to link her murder to an assault and home invasion in Los Angeles, California that took place on March 26th. So that's what it was. He commits the murder in El Salvador, comes here, and then very quickly we have that home invasion. And then not long after that, we have Rachel. And God only knows if there are others that we just don't know about yet or something like that. He's definitely a dangerous man. So her family released a commercial plea in April for justice in the investigation. And finally, there is some closure for them. I feel like it's the beginning of some closure because the court process is long and painful. It's hard on the families. At one point when things seemed really bleak and hopeless, the lead detective said to me, he said, patience will win in the end, Rachel's mother, Patty Morin, said. Martinez Hernandez is a citizen of El Salvador. So Hernandez had illegally crossed the border into the U.S. in February 2023 after murdering another young woman in El Salvador a month earlier in January. Then in March of 2023, so the murder in January, then we have February, he crosses the border illegally. March, he assaults a 9-year-old girl and her mother at a home in Los Angeles. And then I don't know the exact date in August with Rachel. Investigators are checking to see if he is connected to any other crimes. The suspect has connections in the Washington, D.C. area in both Virginia and Prince George's County and ties to known gangs. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or his family, he said. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel and, God willing, no one else. The sheriff says a lead involving genetic genealogy led them to their suspect. Listen to this. On May 20th, on what should have been Rachel's 38th birthday, and in a poetic coincidence, or perhaps Rachel's own divine assistance, our investigators uncovered a lead that led us to this day. So on her birthday. Hey, Lucia. Hey, you guys coming in. Hey, the personality prosecutor. I think I will change my name to have Kate in it. Oh, hey, Kate. Yeah, I did not know. But let me just grab these photos. Whoa. Sorry, started playing music off my phone on accident. But I wanted to grab these photos I saved from the interview rooms post. I do believe it was. Yeah. So detectives tracked Martinez Hernandez down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and arrested him at a bar there Friday night. Officers say when they approached him, he tried to lie about who he was and the crimes he's accused of. Hopefully, he'll never have the opportunity to walk free again. Meanwhile, Harford County community members, especially those who use the Ma and Pa Trail, tell WJZ they feel safer with him in custody. It's just a relief, and God bless that family. Pat Balducci said of Bel Air said, so I'm glad for them. Which can you imagine? So they're working to extradite him to Maryland. It could take 30 to 60 days. I'm sure the community does feel safer because until he was caught, I don't know. I wouldn't want anyone who I loved out on that trail. So here are the pictures that I grabbed from the post I was referencing. Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. He was born in the year 2000. Wow. That's just hard to even read. Makes me feel, so let's see. I am 34, almost 35. I was born in 1989. So that makes him like, what, 22, 23 years old. Well, no, if he was born in 2000, I guess he'll be turning 20. He's 23, turning 24 in September. Wow. I did not realize how young he was. I don't even have you guys looking at the picture. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hey, Jay. It did work, Miss Kate. And happy late birthday to Kate. I hope you had a really great day. He's been in several states. Yes, Nurse Kristen, that shocked me. So during the presser, the sheriff said, this is the second murder of a woman in that county from someone who is illegally here in the U.S. Hey, T. Michelle. Yes, not what I expected either. I mean, how young? I just, So it kind of reminds me of Natalie Holloway, was that the woman that he killed, the other woman, was that in El Salvador? I don't know, but he didn't look like I expected either. But this photo here at the bottom, I feel like that one, he kind of looks more like that video we saw. Just scary though, it's truly so scary that one day you can just walk out to a trail that you're used to walking, and in your small, what feels to be like a safe town, and something like this happened in Peru. Oh, okay. Pointer lover, Aruba. Yeah. Aruba was where with the Natalie, and then Peru with Stephanie, I believe her name was. He doesn't look as built. Yeah, I think I could see that, Mayla's mom. Hey, Chopper, it has been a while. Hey, Bella Italia. Makes my stomach sick. I know. I'm glad he was caught, finally. And here he is again. International murder suspect. Tulsa police posted this one. I'm looking forward to him making it back to Maryland. I want to start seeing the court paperwork that's going to come along with the court process happening. Late comment, but oh my God, I feel so old. I graduated high school in 2000. I feel old looking at his date of birth too. And also, it's sad. I mean, that's young. It's really young, and it's unfortunate because now, and he needs to be locked up for the rest of his life. The public needs to be safe from people like this, but yeah. Hey, Lips. I graduated in 78. I graduated in 07. Hey, Iffy. I don't think I've seen that, Nurse Kristen. Which, like I said, I had family over, so I really wasn't like watching everything. I did watch the press conference, and I do believe that I have the link to that. But I want to just segue into some Summer Wells stuff. We're going to follow this through the court process as the details begin to come out. And, paperwork, arrest affidavits, all that kind of stuff. Once it is available, we're going to talk about it. I would have talked about this yesterday, but it was just a really busy day for me here. So, but like I said, I kind of want to segue now into Summer Wells. Yesterday, she had been missing for 3 years. I can't get over it. You guys know this is a case that I covered extensively on my channel, and oftentimes it's one of my biggest regrets as far as YouTube goes. I think I would just cover it differently now, but nonetheless, it has a special place in my heart, if that's the way to even say that. And I'm just so sad that it's been 3 years and she hasn't been found. So her parents have done a couple new interviews, and we may watch some of that. TBI has put out a couple videos. I definitely want to watch a couple of those with you, both of them. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get started on Summer. I haven't wanted to cover her case. For one, there's no updates, and it really irks me when, just because, there are a lot of people sitting at home who, for one reason or another, one of these cases, and let's talk about Summer, for instance, that Summer's case has really touched their heart. And a lot of people feel that way. And we see a lot of videos and lives and whatever that get done that really have no new updates. And it's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like what we're seeing with Sebastian's case. I don't want to do that. I don't want to cover something. I feel like it's taking advantage of those people that truly do care so much. And also, I don't think that it's doing right by Summer. But I think that it is important that we don't forget any of the kids that we talk about and the cases that we talk about. And I want to make sure to just take a little bit of time today to look at some of this with Summer. So I pray she's still alive too. I know so many run these cases into the ground. Ain't that the truth, Chopper? Yes, KK, they have done extensive searching. Hey, Wolfie, around her home. I mean, they had several different police departments and search and rescue organizations and different people out there. EquiSearch, just they've done a lot of searching around the home. Extensive searching. Hey, Lucia, but I will say, because I've been there in person, and I was there right around this time of year, I think just a little bit before June. And the brush was so thick. It's not an easy area to search. It's very steep. It's in the foothills, I guess you would say. It's in the Appalachian Mountains. Somewhat, even though it is in Tennessee. It really, the terrain reminds me a lot of where I grew up, which was in southern West Virginia. And it looks very much like that area. And so it's pretty steep. Like the little hill they lived on, the driveway, it's very steep. The hill behind their house, very steep. It doesn't come across that way always in video, though. It wasn't until I had been there in person that I realized just how steep it really was. Hey, Boo Sheets. Hey, Rexy. Tennessee and West Virginia are a lot alike. Yes, they are. And especially that part. I feel like because, my brothers, they live in Nashville. They actually live in Hendersonville. And it's a little bit different there. The weather, the climate, even the landscape. But this part of Tennessee, very similar to where I grew up. Don't be sorry, Rexy. I'm just happy to see you. We are in Italy visiting my Nona with our new baby. We just finished dinner and baby is down for sleeping. Our sleep pattern is still off, traveling to Italy. Hope Summer is found soon. Oh my gosh, I hope you have the best visit. That is so awesome. Okay, Wuffy. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you guys. I'm in Jonesboro, 30 minutes east of Rogersville. Oh, okay. Interesting, Nurse Kristen. Yeah, so I was kind of in your neck of the woods. I grew up near the Smoky Mountains. Beautiful place. Yeah, I realized when I was there in that hotel why they call it that. It is really beautiful. I don't know. Okay, let's just get into this because we have a little bit to go through. Excuse me, you guys. Maybe I'll just play the video. I was gonna read the article.
About an hour.
Let's just watch this.
Each Thursday, we bring you a missing persons case from across the country. And today we have an update to a case we have covered before that has gripped the attention of people from all over the world. Today marks 2 years since a little girl in Tennessee vanished from her rural home.
We're not going to watch the video because they just put a video that was older with the article. So on June 15th of 2021, Summer Wells' parents said she was helping her mother and grandmother plant flowers before going inside their Rogersville home to play with her toys. Then, out of nowhere, Summer Wells vanished. That was the last time her mother said she's seen her daughter. I yelled downstairs for her a couple of times and I didn't get an answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. So I went down there to check and she was nowhere inside. She was just gone, Summer's mother, Candace Wells, said. Her family believes Summer may have been abducted, taken down a steep hill behind the home, possibly to a waiting car along the road. Don, her father, says, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there and we were not exactly paying attention. And we don't know if they came in the basement and grabbed her or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something. To this day, law enforcement still has not located Summer Wells, and with no new leads indicating they are closer to finding her. Almost immediately, Candace and Dawn became the center of an investigation, but were never named as suspects. Police remain tight-lipped about the 5-year-old's case, and there haven't been any real leads or developments. Both Candace and Dawn passed the polygraph test, but Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's statement that everyone is still a person of interest is leading some to wonder if the Wells may know more than they've said. The Hawkins County Sheriff said the Wells have cooperated, but there is no evidence that Summer was kidnapped or abducted. And as a matter of fact, they have also said that they weren't cooperating at a point in time. And I think that, I don't know. And that's what Ronnie Lawson said. This is the age progressed photo of Summer that came out a while back. And then I want to grab this TBI video. We're going to go straight to this. There's actually two, but I want to play this one first.
When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day. My name is Josh Melton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigation Division for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. We don't have the evidence in this case.
Now, let me just pause and take a second because we have heard so many people criticize the police. And now that Sebastian's case is happening, it's even worse, but I don't want to do that. We don't know. And I don't believe, I'm not going to ever believe that TBI is just the investigators and the people working for TBI are just sitting in there like, who cares, Yeah, no, I cannot believe that. I do not believe that. We have seen them take so many other cases to trial. As a matter of fact, why is her name escaping? Evelyn Boswell. Her name was escaping my mind for a moment. Megan Boswell, I'm still waiting for her trial, which it got pushed back really far. But we know that they do follow leads and make arrests when there are leads and arrests to be made.
To know for sure whether or not Summer was
when they have the information.
Or whether or not she walked away from her home. and became lost. It's really important to us to not focus
No, I
all of our
didn't,
efforts
Lynn.
on just one of those two. Many people have speculated what they think has happened in this case. The difficult part of the speculation is that if we as investigators speculate and focus our efforts in one direction, we're making a huge mistake. We have to make sure that we're being completely comprehensive as we investigate. We continue to focus on ground search efforts. We continue to focus on interviews of those who may have information about vehicles that have traveled through the area.
Oh my God, you guys, my heart just breaks for this baby.
Technology that could have been used that may give us an investigative lead. All stones are being turned over. We have some of our most talented agents assigned to this case. We have brought in subject matter experts within TBI from across the state to assist in this investigation.
Becky.
We have thrown everything that we know to throw at this case.
So the stables at the horse pond burned down on the 14th. That is freaking sad. Thank you, Lynn and Pointer Lover, for letting me know that. That is really, really so sad. I thought that I had... Yes, I do. So I don't know where Grandma is at, but I wanted to show you guys if you hadn't seen. There is an event that I know that her grandma attends where it's a missing persons event, awareness event, where she attends to bring awareness to Rose Bly, Summer's aunt, who's also been missing for a long time now. And she also has now added a table, and at least some of the years since this has happened. I don't know if she's attended every year in the past 3 years. Well, it says Wisconsin Missing Persons Advocacy, Inc. held their annual Missing Persons Awareness event today. Rose's mother, Candy, goes every year and has a table for Rose. This year, she had a table for Summer. They also are having a 2-day online Lights of Hope event with luminarias for missing persons. And this is the one for Rose. This is the picture that was with that post I just read. I'm going to let the video play again, but I just want to show you guys these couple little pictures of Summer. Look at her as a baby. And then here with her little puppy. Okay.
And we haven't had the answers that we need yet. No, we'll get them, but we don't have them today. Children are our top priority at TBI. They are the most vulnerable population that we have. They're our most precious things in our world. Our commitment to the public is that we're not going to allow this case to sit on a shelf. We are committed to bringing Summer home, and we will keep working on this case until she is home.
1-800-TBI-FIND, tips to TBI at tbi.tennessee.gov. He said their promise to the public is the case isn't going to sit on a shelf, and they are determined to bring Summer home. You know, I'm happy to hear that, because I know so many of us, you just can't help but wonder. And as you know, there was a time when Summer's case was talked about ad nauseum on YouTube. Not her case, actually. Let me correct that. Not her case. Her parents, okay, were talked about ad nauseum, and that's just the truth. It started to just be about what they said on this live, what they said on that live, and it's very similar to what we are seeing with Sebastian's case. Here are a variety of sound bites. Here's just a different one that was posted. Then I'm going to play the parents' new interview. I'm just going to play this for a second.
We don't have the evidence in this case to know for sure whether or not Summer was abducted or whether or not she walked away from her home and became lost. it's really important to us to not focus all of our efforts on just one of those two.
Hey,
We think that
Bartlett.
the only way we'll be successful
I was too crazy,
in
Mama.
finding
I was
Summer
too.
is to continue to walk down both of
Hey,
those
Tia.
investigative paths to ensure that we don't become focused on one area alone and miss something that's crucially important.
Hey, Tia. Tia says, hi, Alex Erickson. Thank you for covering Rachel Morin. And yeah, Decipher Podcast has been covering that. And Tia's local to the area. I think they're in the Nightbot under Decipher. Let me check. Yes. Yeah, so go check out Decipher Podcast for more on that case. And I'm sure you guys will be covering it closely as things develop through the court process, which I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Marlena, good to see you. I find it very interesting that Josh Melton is the assistant director of the Criminal Investigation Division. I don't know who that is. Thank you, Boo Sheet, and good to see you. Oh, I know you didn't. I didn't. I just wanted to because I thought about it. But no, I know that. And you're welcome. And thank you for stopping by. Okay.
Important. I would say this case has not gone cold. A cold case is typically framed up as a case where there are no tips or leads that are coming in, and there are no investigative efforts that are happening because there is no place to travel with the investigation.
Interesting. I would say this case has not gone cold. A cold case is typically framed up when there are no new leads coming in and no tips coming in.
I would say in this case, thanks to the public, we've continued to have tips and leads that have come in that agents have been able to follow up on continuously. And the agents have worked tirelessly when tips and leads weren't coming in.
Oh, okay.
To
Marlena,
try to find ways to investigate when typically people would lay down their effort. It has been a great partnership between the community and law enforcement to not let this case sit and go sterile. We continue to focus on ground search efforts. We continue to focus on interviews of those who may have information about vehicles that have traveled through the area or technology that could have been used that may give us an investigative lead. All stones are being turned over. There's not one thing that's being done. We've been extremely creative as we've investigated this case and continue to try to find ways to turn over rocks that we didn't even know that were there to turn over. Children are our top priority at TBI. They are the most vulnerable population that we have. They're our most precious things in our world. TBI has always placed an emphasis on missing children. We've done that through multiple programs that are established here. We look for children when most people aren't. And this case is one that we've just not been able to overcome, and it's troubling. Many people have speculated what they think has happened in this case. The difficult part of speculation,
lots of it,
is that if we as investigators speculate and focus our efforts in one direction, we're making a huge mistake. We have
Hey, Liplog, that is a highly significant remark in regards to turning over rocks. He does sound confident. I mean, you know what? I've been begging. We've all been begging. Please, just tell us anything. Anything. Like, just even if there are no new updates, come on and say there's no new updates. It's so incredibly frustrating with so much silence, and it's so uncomfortable. Like, just tell us something. It doesn't help. That's when speculation rumors, I feel, and rumors go out of control. Please. And then finally, they speak up, and I don't know. I'm just glad that they're saying something and acknowledging Summer. It's also highly significant, in my opinion, that we are being addressed by the Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigation Division rather than the Public Information Officer this year. Interesting. Bushi, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Anyone else sick of hearing Seth, Chris, and Katie? Yes, I am. But you know what? There's a lot of people apparently that are really interested in hearing about all of that, many things that are not relevant at all to his disappearance and all the drama between the parents. It's very, I'm sorry, it's just like what happened with Summer. It is just like what happened with Summer. How many times did you hear people saying, I'm so tired of Summer being lost in it all? It's all about what Dawn said on this live this week or what Candace said on this live this week. It's so reminiscent of that. And thank you, Bushit. I appreciate that.
To make sure that we're being completely comprehensive as we investigate.
Because
and being focused in one direction is a tragedy for investigation. So until we find evidence that points us in a direction that we know is the right direction, we'll continue to be comprehensive. We'll continue to explore every option that can be out there, and we would continue to ask for the public's help in doing so. Typically, we have a couple of agents assigned to an investigation, and that's been enough. We've had over 6,500 leads, tips and leads come in on this case. Those have all been reviewed. They've been worked. We continue to get those. And it is a monstrous task, but it's one that's not.
Okay, so Pointer Lover says, I have no faith in TBI. And I just want to say there are a lot of cases that have been successfully tried or being brought to court. These are just like two that they haven't yet. You know what I mean? But we can't forget about all the others that are. And Abellis, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That was really sweet. Thank you, B Crumbs and Abellis, and welcome to the new members. Thank you, guys. Okay. Very sweet. I think they have a good idea what happened to her, but can't move on something they can't solidify or don't want to blow the cover on what they have and spook potential suspects. If a 3-year mark comes, that helps extra outside resources to assist TBI, FBI come in after the 3-year mark. Let's hope, says Bella Italia. That is interesting, the criminal division. I could see that because, well, it's just like with Sebastian's case. Could it just be a child who's wandered off? In that case, there is no crime. You know what I mean? Where is she? I know, Tiff. It's so freaking sad. Well, we're about to watch the parents' new interview. And I just want to get through this and then we'll go to that.
Overwhelmed us. We have been strategic in the way that we've handled this investigation. We have some of our most talented agents assigned to this case, some of our most talented intelligence analysts from the Bureau assigned to this case.
Have a good day.
We have brought in subject matter experts within TBI from across the state to assist in this investigation. We have thrown everything that we know to throw at this case, and we haven't had the answers that we need yet. No, we'll get them, but we don't have them today. When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day. And it brings me concern and satisfaction, really, the concern that we don't have the answers, the satisfaction of knowing that we have the best agents at TBI that are working on this case in connection with other local law enforcement and federal agencies who are doing their best. And if my daughter was missing, all of the people that are working on this case are the people who I would choose to work on a case if my daughter was missing.
Okay, so that's it. Now we're going to go to the parents' new interview. Mayla's mom, thank you for being a member for 5 months. She says, my milestone is behind. I've been here longer than 5 months. I love your channel, Allie. You're the best. I'll never forget it. Aw, I appreciate you so much, and I'm just so glad you're here, and thank you for all your help. And yeah, I just love and appreciate you so much. Thank you, Mayla's mom. Okay, so now I want to watch this. Now this is interesting because yeah, I'm not going to tell you guys how to feel about the parents. I'm going to make it a point on my channel to be more careful and more thoughtful with my coverage on these kind of cases, because even if we go back to Rachel Morin, what I showed you guys at the beginning, and I stumbled across this on accident. I just went to Facebook to look at some pictures, and this was recommended to me like at the top of my feed. Her boyfriend at the time, he lived very close to where, or he was in this rehab facility, if I remember correctly, very close to where she was found. And there were a lot of people online very suspicious of him, blaming him, tearing apart every word he said, all of his posts, all that kind of stuff. And he was not involved at all. So because of having learned along the way and having been wrong so many times with my own opinions about, and I have these very strong opinions, however, they don't end up lining up with the facts. I just want to be really careful about that for me personally. However, I don't want you guys to feel like you can't have your opinions, no matter what they are, and so that's just that. Okay.
Well, this Saturday marks 3 years since the disappearance of then 5-year-old Summer Wells from her Hawkins County home.
The night she was reported missing, authorities said Summer was last seen walking from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community. Hours later, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation would issue an endangered child alert for her. That would later turn into an Amber Alert.
To this day, law enforcement still has not located Summer Wells and are not any closer to finding her. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with Summer's parents.
We have pushed investigators for months to learn about new details or updates in this case. What we do know is that her family continues their search to bring Summer home. I spoke with both Dawn and Candace Wells in Kingsport.
I won't block you guys. I just ask one thing. Please try to write your comments and stuff as if Summer was watching or the boys were watching, because they very well could be. And even if you are suspicious or you don't like a certain thing that was said, like say something is said and you don't like the way that it's said, that's okay. You can voice your opinion, but let's just try to be respectful about it regardless, for the children. You know what I mean?
At a place with deep meaning to Summer's disappearance. Borden Park is anything but quiet this time of year. But 3 years ago, it was filled almost weekly with people praying for Summer Wells.
I see all these families, with their kids and how much they enjoy them and stuff. And we were stripped away from all our kids. All our kids have been kidnapped from us by DCS, and we're not sure about Summer, but we know about where our boys are at.
While the prayer vigils are now few and far between, Dawn and Candace Wells haven't stopped praying that their daughter Summer will be found.
We have hope, always. But there's not much hope in this world. We have to trust God that there's hope in eternal life in heaven.
Summer was reported missing on June the 15th of 2021.
We know that she was taken off her property. We know she was taken away in a vehicle, or they would have found her in the area if she was somewhere in the area.
And it's hard for me too. It's hard for me too sometimes. Dawn says, we know that she was taken off our property and we know that she was put in a vehicle. And just remember, this is just his opinion, because she could have walked for a long time. I don't know. I just don't know. It's hard for me too to find the right words.
But who's responsible for her? We don't know.
I asked Dawn and Candace when was the last time they heard from investigators.
We haven't lately at all. It's been a while, over a year, I think. I haven't talked to any law enforcement at all.
Now that really surprised me. They hadn't talked to any law enforcement for over a year. really surprised me. I think that everybody in that situation can do better. Who the hell am I though? I don't have a missing child. I'm not law enforcement. But I feel like law enforcement should be checking in with them and they should be checking in with them. But again, like I said, who the hell am I? If my kids went missing, I know that would just be the end of me, truly. And they weren't found, and 3 years later, still not found. I just cannot imagine anything worse. That would just be so horrible. So I don't know.
I tried to talk to the FBI agent about it, but that didn't go anywhere.
Don says he feels that he and his wife Candace were targeted by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
They intimidated us, they belittled us, and done everything they could amidst all the chaos. And then CPS was there doing the same thing.
When asked about...
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I agree, Crazy Mom. I think everybody should be checking in. The circumstances in Summer's case didn't necessarily meet the Amber Alert requirements, and for that reason, gosh, it's been such a long time. But I remember it took a minute to get an Amber Alert issued, and isn't that the same with Sebastian's case? Like, because they are supposed to have a vehicle or a potential abductor.
How he thinks about Summer's disappearance 3 years later, Don spoke about a Department of Children's Services investigation.
They said somebody had called and said that we was giving our kids loaded guns to play with. And so they closed the case June 14th, which is something CPS does not do. They don't just close cases. So it's really odd and mystifying why they closed the case June 14th, and then 24 hours later, Summer's gone.
Summer's mother, Candace, sat in for part of our interview, but got up after a few questions.
She was going to try, but her emotions are just too much.
The last update in the Summer Wells case from law enforcement was an age-progressed photo released in June of last year. This image was released by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. If you have any information...
I'm trying really hard to practice what I preach, because I don't like seeing these people accused of things without proof. I really don't, none of them. And at first, when I first saw this, I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of was like, why would you get up like this? The news is talking about her, and you know what? Like, we don't want her forgotten about, and we also don't want her memorialized through YouTube drama and bullshit. So the local news is like the perfect opportunity for that. But then again, you know, I have to remember, I don't know what she's going through. I know how much she's been beat up online and stuff like that, and however people feel about her or whatever. And so maybe that's why she got up. Maybe, you know, and it's not right for me to judge. I don't know. I'm a work in progress. We're all a work in progress, and that's just that. We have to keep her memory alive for her. They pick apart everything she says, and that's true, Crystal. And they truly do. And you're so right. So I have to remember that stuff. When I start to think about those things. I always, you know, when people were demanding Katie to speak about Sebastian, and I've seen this with Candace too, people really would try to demand her to speak. And as a matter of fact, it was, you know, Dawn came out and did the first interview, and she wasn't there with him. Eventually, she did go on the news with him, but people were demanding it. And who are we? We do not, like, with people demanding Katie to come out, I think, who the hell are you? Who the hell are we? They don't have to speak to us. And that's just the truth. So I just am trying to keep that same energy with all of these parents in these cases. Until the police say that they are suspects or they've been arrested, then, you know, things will change. And that's for all of them, all the parents, not just with Summer. But at the end of the day, I don't want to make this about Dawn and Candace. I want this to be about Summer. You know, she's been missing for 3 years. Can you imagine what she would look like? I hope and pray she's alive out there somewhere. And then you have the thoughts of what that might look like. And it's just all so scary and really so sad. And then you have these 3 little boys who are out there trying to live their life, knowing that their sister, wondering where she's at, knowing she could be out there somewhere. It's just truly so freaking sad. That's true, Allie. Some aren't well-spoken and know it, so it makes them uncomfortable. Me, right here. How many times have I misspoke already in this live? I'm like an awkward mess. And I can guarantee you, if I knew for a fact my words would be picked apart, I would be even more awkward and just probably saying, I don't know. Sometimes the stuff that comes out of my mouth is not at all what I'm thinking or what I want to say. You know what I mean? It's just... I don't think I've seen a crazy mama. The new pic of the boys melted my heart. They look really happy. When my brother-in-law and nephew were murdered, the public ran that it was my sister. She was at work. Oh my God, Iffy, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had been through something like that. I'm so sorry. MK, if my child went missing, I would be devastated, and doing interviews and having cameras in my face would be the last thing on my mind. You're right. Oh, I know what you meant, Maria. This one, I have no idea. And they're easy to pick apart because of the type of people they are. Well, and that's another thing. They are backwoods country people. I knew all kinds of people like this in West Virginia. Just really good. Some of them were really good, amazing, kind-hearted people. Some of them not. But if you're not used to that and you haven't seen that before, I could see how you wouldn't understand how they walk, talk, carry themselves, the things they say, the way that they speak, that kind of stuff. It's hard, but I'm putting effort into it. Hey, you can... Me too. I'm trying to, because it is hard. It can be hard. I've been wrong so many times, though. There are so many times where I've thought something in a case and I was just dead wrong. And I was just so convinced. So no matter how I feel, I'm just trying to be more careful these days. And also, it does truly make me sick the way these families are torn apart on here. It does. It gets so depressing. And the way that people, everything they say, they tear it apart, and they'll sit on there night after night after night after day after day after day, hour after hour after hour. And I don't like it. So I'm just trying to do better, because I watch that and I get angry, and I almost feel like I don't even want to be in this part of true crime, in active cases and stuff like that. But I don't know. Crime Crochet and Coffee says, no more crime crochet grousing. Fun fact, my sons actually call me every Father's Day to tell me Happy Father's Day. Single mamahood, y'all. However, they give better Mama Day gifts. That is freaking sweet. And I love that. You deserve it. If I had a nickel for every time I've messed up, I would be a very rich woman now. Same here, lip locked. Same here. We are all of us. Y'all are funny. Hey, Past. Especially with people that want you to be guilty because they think so. That's true. They are more hick than me, and that's saying a lot. I mean, but I have people in my very close family who are just as hick. And so for me, the problem is the drinking and the drugs. Yeah. For me, I do know this. if something happened to my kids, that would be the one thing that would make me relapse. I'm just 100% serious on that. That would be the one thing that would push me into using again, because I have no urge to use. I love my life. I want to be in the moment. I want to remember every memory. I've got so many years of my life I don't remember much at all. And from taking like very heavy, like lots of Xanax and, you know, things like that. And there's nothing out there that could make me want to go back to that. No matter how sad or miserable I feel, it's never a thought that I want to go pick up and use. I feel like that was another lifetime ago. But I do think if something happened to my children, that I would just want to, because we know if we ever have used drugs or gotten drunk or anything, you know that that's a way that you can kind of numb your feelings and not think about stuff. You know what I mean? So, but I don't like it around little kids. I don't think there's any excuse for it when it is around little kids. And we're about to talk about that. Actually, we're going to segue into baby Miya, and she's been found, and everyone in her life has now been arrested, and not they were arrested before, like both sets of grandparents, parents, I think someone else, like another random person. And during the press conference, the officer says, they've not been arrested in relation to her disappearance. They've all been arrested because when they go to talk to them, they find so many drugs, and they're, fentanyl and meth and all this stuff. And there is no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that baby even being with those people. As a patient advocate and going toe-to-toe with some big institutions, we need to respect the patient's wishes. At times, I want them to go to the news and tell their stories, but they just can't. Yeah, MK, you're right. They got bashed for not doing interviews, and then they got bashed for doing too many interviews. Yep. Oh, speak up. They're not speaking. And that happened with Chris and Katie and Seth, too, because I don't like bashing any of them. There are things that they might say I don't agree with or I don't understand or whatever, but you will see that. Speak up. Where's Katie? Katie's hiding out. Oh God, speak up. Where you at, Katie? You need, we deserve to hear from her. Like they owe YouTube whatever. And then when they do speak up, it's like, oh, interview after interview. You're so right about that. Working with parents that have lost their children, I see so much self-destruction. These families need support regardless. It's all part of your human experience, Allie, always learning. That's true, Maria. You're right. You're so right. K-Braze, what throws me off in a lot of cases is that people not think that all the law enforcement and all the agencies don't know what they are doing. A lot of times they don't. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people, and don't, I mean, if there is an example of bad law enforcement work, we can look to the Karen Reed case at not a very good investigation into that. I don't know. I think that it's possible, but yeah, look at all the, there you go, Rexy. See, I'm behind in chat, but look at all the stuff Trooper Proctor said about Karen Reed. Oh, Michelle. Oh, Pass, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Oh, Crazy Mama, thank you for sending that. You're stuck with me. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Real one, family respect. Yes, happy Father's Day, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that we're stuck with you. And thank you for being here. Hey, hippie chick. We all share the human condition, which is being flawed, and that is true. I was country before country was cool. Same here. Hey, Bendy. Yeah. Lip blocked me too. I'm trying to catch up in the chat because I want to get into the next case really quick, but I'm way behind. I'm just going to jump ahead. If I missed anything important, you guys let me know. And I can always go back. Oh, thank you, Ava. I will definitely tell him. I'm absolutely blessed with one of the best fathers on earth. I know that. That's a fact. Okay. So the other night I was going to cover this case, and I wasn't feeling very good. And then next thing you know, we have this update. So we've talked about this on True Crime News. Let me get this loaded up, and I don't really know how I'm going to get into this. Ooh, pool time, going into lurking mode. Aw, have fun, Christina. I'm going to go do that too. Just go lay out and listen to music. Okay, so we're going to switch over to here and just kind of start here, I guess, because it's the first one. I've grabbed several articles and videos, but I don't really remember which was which, so I think we'll just kind of go with the flow. Come on. Her family in court. We have that. Just a second.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Yaney, coming to you live from our digital news desk. We have breaking news, and it has to do with the search for the 8-month-old Miya Rudd, who has been missing out of Ohio County. Our Mitch Carter is out on the scene right now. Mitch, you've been there today. Kentucky State Police continuing their search. What is the latest right now?
Yeah, well, Jordan, like you said, we've been out here all day. This is actually day 10 in the search of Miya. Now, we knew the coroner was out here all day, along with KSP and the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office. But today, for the first time within the last 30 minutes here, you see the Ohio County Coroner's van has actually arrived. That's the first time we've seen this here. And over here to my right, we know our trooper Corey King with KSP, who's kind of our eyes and ears.
Just before we watch this, let me just read through this article just to kind of catch you guys up to speed. So, hold on. Kentucky State Police were searching for a missing 8-month-old baby. This is before she was found. This article is written. Kentucky State Police sent out a notice on Thursday night. They said they were called to conduct a welfare check on Miya Tucker in Ohio County, which is about 2 hours southwest of Louisville. She was last suspected to be in the care of her parents, Cage Rudd and Tesla Tucker. While investigating, they found her parents, but not her. Miya is described as having brown hair and green eyes. Her parents were both arrested and taken to Daviess County Detention Center. Tucker is charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and abandonment of a minor. Rudd is facing 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, drug paraphernalia, and abandonment of a minor. Kentucky State Police were looking for anyone with information to contact police, and here are the parents. Now, when they stumbled across the parents in this hotel, I do believe it was, and I think I have another article on that, Miya was not with them, right? Miya should have never left the hospital. I don't want to misspeak, so let me just wait to give you those details and find the article. But she was not with them. They found a bunch of drugs, and therefore that is why they were arrested. Both sets of grandparents also have been arrested, and not in connection with her disappearance, again, with drugs. So it's really sad. And let me go back to this article, or to this video. We're going to watch this, and I'm going to try to find the other article I wanted to read to you guys that goes into more detail about her coming home from the hospital and the other children and that stuff. So just a second.
The whole time came in. They just had a meeting. We see guys over here right now getting equipment ready right now. And I want to be very clear in this when I tell you the Ohio County Coroner's van being here. does not mean we have anything conclusive. We're still waiting to hear from the authorities themselves. What we know right now is we're seeing some action here we can get to see throughout the course of this entire investigation, Jordan.
Okay, Mitch, a lot going on out there right now. So we want to be very clear that nothing has been confirmed. We do not know.
Now, at this point, it has been confirmed.
Maybe Miya has been found or not. We do know that crews have been searching again
concealed
today.
in
Let's
her
reiterate
parents' home.
that. Crews are there right now, and the coroner has been there all day, but we don't have anything confirmed, right?
That's right, Jordan. Yes, so we know they were here today at the residence she shared with her parents here. That's Tesla Tucker and Cage Rudd. They've been out here all day with dogs, just like we saw earlier in the week. But beyond this place, Trooper King tells us they've had 2 other searching places they've been at today doing some work out there. So right now, it's still kind of this waiting game as it has been all day. But like I'm reiterating here, we don't know anything just yet to be confirmed. However, the coroner's van is here. And this is the most action we've seen kind of all day long, if you will.
And Mitch, you've been out there for other searches. This seems to me like the most extensive one. 1, because they're searching multiple places, but 2, because there's so many people on there. And as you said, they're having a meeting. This is more extensive than it has been in the past, right?
That's correct, Jordan. You know, like we saw on Tuesday here, where we hear is they had some dogs out about 100 yards away from the house here, searching the woods about 5 acres back there. However,
okay, so we're going to pause again, and we're going to look at this article. Editor's note, this story has been updated to reflect when the people involved in the case were taken into custody. So the Kentucky State Police continues to search for a missing 8-month-old girl in western Kentucky after opening an investigation Thursday that led to the arrest of 5 people, including some of the child's relatives. Troopers in Ohio County are looking for Miya Rudd of Reynolds Station, who has not been seen by her family since the end of April, according to an arrest citation. Rudd has brown hair and green eyes, the news release said. Miya's parents, Tesla Tucker and Cage Rudd, along with the child's grandfather, Ricky J. Smith, were arrested June 6th in connection to the investigation following a welfare check at the family's home. All 3 face charges of child abuse and abandonment. I think in addition to several drug charges. I do remember the police saying in their press conference, which I also have that the arrests were not made in connection to Miya's disappearance. I know the parents were charged with abandonment. However, but it was because of drugs. The child's grandmother, Billy J. Smith, was also taken into custody after troopers discovered there was an active warrant for her arrest while conducting a search and welfare for the missing child at her home. She was charged with second-degree assault in connection with an alleged domestic violence incident. A 5th person, Timothy Roach of Owensboro, was also arrested and faces multiple drug charges after troopers allegedly saw him throw unprescribed opioids under his vehicle while in the driveway of Billy Smith's residence on Sunday. And he was taken into the Ohio County Detention Center. That was the other person that I was talking about. Okay, so I got one more I'm going to find, but we'll go back to this video while I grab it.
However, now there are more police than we've seen this entire time. Like I mentioned, the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office is out here, and of course, the coroner's out here for the very first time. Now, I want to reiterate as well, the coroner being here is kind of their standard practice. That was upon request. That being said, like I mentioned here, the big news right now, his van has just now arrived here. So like I said, they had that meeting. They were very hush-hush, as is to be expected with something like this, something so sensitive. But right now, like I said, as it has been all 10 days, kind of this waiting game right now, but nothing confirmed at this point, no.
Okay, Mitch, I want to go ahead and give our viewers one more look at baby Miya. We've been showing you this picture. As we've reported, she has been reported missing since a week ago today, last Friday, but family...
Okay, now I am going to go ahead and show you the police talking about this, but just before we get into that, let me see here. She was found hidden under debris in the corner of the home. She was found in a search of the family residence. But this was before she was found. He's going to talk about the dogs they're going to have up there, the other arrests that have been made. And I think that it's interesting. It's important to the backstory, what he has to say here.
Trooper T. R-O-O-P-E-R, Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, King, K-I-N-G. So mic check's doing okay? Good. All right. Okay. So this is truly a case on how illicit street drugs can and will destroy lives.
Yes, and it's also a case on how the system needs to be reworked completely.
And cause the erosion of.
But we already knew that.
I think it's fair to say that in order for us to describe what we are doing and conducting today, we need to backtrack a little bit into how this all began. So this particular family that we are investigating, this goes back some years ago, actually. If you're looking through the records with the department.
Here are the mug shots just quickly, and we're going to listen to this in full, but some of the mug shots, like, again, you guys have seen the mom and dad, and then one set of grandparents. But this goes further than that. Okay.
Based services, they had previously removed 3 older children, the siblings to Miya.
Interesting.
They removed all 3 based on the conditions
So
of
then
the
why?
house. No surprise that
Let me shut
drugs is in the forefront of the removal. Those children are
Yes, sir.
safe. They're at a location with family, and they're, to my knowledge, doing well. So Miya was born in October of last year, and social services, shortly after the birth, was looking to as well remove this child. They had no contact with the child or the family, and a family member around the end of April or so noticed they have not seen.
Mayla's mom, I can see the purpose of umbilical cord testing, but I think that it needs to be done in conjunction with those other tests. You know what I mean?
This at the time 6-month-old child.
I know
Several
it's
months
off
later,
speed.
our agency was notified by a family member of this of the Rudd family, and reported that they had not seen this now 8-month-old child since the end of April, 1st of May. Our agency responded. We looked. We were working closely with community-based services. We did locate both parents at Motel 6 on Gates Drive in Owensboro. When we located the 2 parents, no child was discovered. However, a multitude of really heavy street drugs, including fentanyl or possible fentanyl, hasn't quite been tested yet, and suspected crystal methamphetamine was located at the hotel. No child was discovered. That led us to the residence.
Thank you, Mayla's mom.
Where another search warrant was conducted, and more illicit street drugs were discovered in this residence. No child was discovered. So that investigation prompted, at this point, the missing persons. The parents have not been cooperative in this investigation as to the whereabouts of their child. So we launched, and what led us to this point, further search warrants, which led into more arrests, all related to drugs, not the child.
That is why I said it was. I believe some of those articles were a little bit off because of what he said right there. So, well, they haven't loaded yet. Mayla's mom has sent us a few. There's not a lot of pictures of the baby out there, but she has found several that I do want to show you guys. They haven't loaded yet. When they do, we're going to listen to this in full. Oh, whoa, sorry. We're going to listen to this in full, but I just want to, go back and forth. Here they are. So this is baby Miya. Miya Nicole Rudd is here. She is perfect. She weighed 6 pounds, 14 ounces. Baby number 4, Tesla Tucker. Oh, she has that little hospital beanie on. Look at her. Oh, my God. She's so precious. This is why, though, who knows what happened to her? You can only wonder. But if parents are using hard drugs, they don't have any business having little children, whether it's because they're in withdrawal and they might snap, whether it's because they're messed up and they're not, they're driving or something like that, or whether it's because the child gets into something that they might have. There's no place for it. And I'm sorry, as someone in recovery, I just do not believe if you are using drugs. Now, if it's a prescription that you're given by your doctor, something like that, and you're responsible, that's one thing. If, and not talking about marijuana, but I'm talking about heavy drugs. You have no business having these little children. Look at this baby. Look at her smiling. Oh my God. Okay. So, I'm just sick over it.
Today, we're utilizing cadaver dogs at this location where we stand. This is 41 Harton Lane. It's a church, and by looking at the maps, you will see a cemetery in behind this church. The cemetery, as well as the heavy wooded area with some ditches. There's a variety of debris that we are seeing in these ditches. These cadaver dogs will be looking in that debris, as well as looking for any type of signs of disturbed earth. And particularly with these canines, they are really good at detecting an odor called cadaverine, which is emitted from decaying flesh. Those don't listen that. Hopefully, we're very hopeful and optimistic that we would find her alive. Maybe perhaps a family member has her, but the longer this goes on, the more grim it seems. If this child is buried
Crochet, you're
or
right.
deceased on this property, this team of cadaver
Absolutely,
dogs
Kim.
should be able to source where this child is at, and that's when we can do a recovery at that point. If this does not,
Kim says you also have to watch, you even have to watch, or you definitely need to even watch those gummies around children. And I completely agree with that. Now, as far as I know, I don't believe that marijuana overdose has ever killed anyone. However, you don't know, and it could be very dangerous. And I think that you have to be responsible, whether it's a prescribed medication or whether you go to your local store down the road and buy gummies, or online or at the dispensary, because now we have the Delta gummies, which also, they need to be, all that kind of stuff, as well as prescription medications, probably need to be kept locked in a safe. I know that at my house, I have a little safe and I keep my medications in it and my gummies and stuff. And that's just that. I don't know.
Fails and we do not find Miya here, later this week, we're bringing in some specialized equipment from the medical examiner.
And one more thing, and you can get them pretty cheap. I have two because my dad gave me a bigger one. But before I had that one, I had bought this really cute little green one that has a code, and it also has a key on Amazon for like $20 or $30. And it's just a little box, like maybe 10 inches by 10 inches or something like that.
And we're going to do a very thorough search utilizing this technology, as well as a team of canines, to go further to where this point where we believe she very well could be.
I know obviously there's the grandparents and the parents that are involved, but in terms of that you've conducted interviews and certain things like that, maybe even found some evidence in terms of what's kind of going on. Can you just
Yep, exactly.
courtroom yesterday with a grief,
Michelle.
and there was no remorse on their face, if I'm being quite honest, in terms of the drugs that you were talking about. Have you had anything like this while you've been on the force in terms of a child going missing? 3 were all already were with child services or with family. Can you kind of speak a bit about that too?
Well, that's a good question, and I think yes, I have. And I think really this goes to the power of addiction. It's no surprise that we're talking about methamphetamine, fentanyls, cocaine, heroin, all these heavy drugs. The underlying component to addiction a lot of times is selfishness. And when you are overtaken by a powerful addiction such as this, that is your priority. And you see that right now. And that is scary. reason why we have social services doing their job to remove some of these children.
Speaking of Summer Wells, we're going to watch all of this. I think it's important to hear. But speaking of Summer Wells, and just kind of to wrap all these three together, that day her mom had went and bought some vapes and some twisted tea, not THC vapes. I think they were just nicotine vapes, but she had went to this store that I stopped at when I went to Kingsport. And in that store, I was absolutely shocked because a lot of the gummies and stuff I've seen, like at dispensaries or at this point in time, I've seen more now, like in the stores, but in the places where I would purchase them, they wouldn't look just like candy. But in this store, I saw trolley gummy worms that looked exactly like a bag of trolley gummy worms, but they had Delta 8 or Delta 9 THC. I saw Skittles, Rice Krispie Treats, and some of these name brand, they are branded with the name brand Airheads. You will see packs of these and they look identical to candy for children. Identical. It's insane because a kid, how many times have one of your children went and snuck candy? Like when you were in the shower or the bathroom or walked outside for a minute and they run in the kitchen and they get that bag of M&Ms on the counter or whatever. I know for sure mine do it all the damn time. So it's just crazy that they make them to look just like candies you get at the grocery store in the checkout line, which thanks a lot for putting all that candy right at the damn checkout line. Appreciate it. Every time you go, of course, your kids want something out of there. They don't want, to take strawberries home and dip them in Nutella or have a sweet treat that way. No, you just have to put every kind of candy ever imaginable right in the checkout line where we have to stand and wait for 15 minutes. Don't appreciate that at all, but whatever.
Is so addicted to such a powerful drug like this. If you as a parent would rather reach for a Tudor pipe and not a pacifier bottle to play with your children, you probably don't need bringing children into this world. It's sad, but that's the reality. We do see this. It seems to us, at least through the investigative sense, that none of the participants involved in this are helpful at all to this missing 8-month-old, which as an investigator, that would tell you they know the answer perhaps. And that's what we're trying to find. Sadly, the spirit of our investigators today, we have been very hopeful and optimistic, but the longer this goes on, the more grim the outcome is likely. And I think with the power of addiction and methamphetamine, that really says a lot about what this does to our community as well as the families. I'm hopeful. No, go ahead, sir. The amount of trafficking, we did learn that through the second component of the search. So that would be the residents in behind me, the amount of drugs, and that was methamphetamine, marijuana, I believe some of the fentanyls that we found. That all comes into the engaging in organized crime because there is a cell component to this. And going back to your question with the amount of drug we're talking about and how this plays a role in family life, every aspect of interviewing and investigating, you're looking for the safety of this child, has netted an arrest, a drug arrest, that really all we're trying to do is get the answers to where the whereabouts of this child. But sadly, everybody in this that's involved in this, when we go to talk to them, we find drugs and they go to jail. And that's where we stand. And, I think really hopefully we will find the answers really soon. But
yes, I'm going to share it.
Getting a whole lot of information from where the source really needs to come from. And that's where we're relying on technology. We're relying on forensic interviews through non-family members. As well as what tangible evidence we have recovered so far. And that's what led us to this location and utilizing the cadaver dogs to see if some of these tips are true and what tangible evidence is pointing us in what direction we have. We have been getting a whole lot of tips, which is really necessary.
God only knows what
Case like
happened
this.
to
You'll
this
notice
beautiful baby,
that
man.
I've really put out a whole lot of updates, news releases, which may not seem like a lot to the casual reader. However, it is keeping it in the forefront like it should be, because someone knows, someone has information on the whereabouts of this child, or at least knows what has happened to this child. That's what we need to know. And that's the only way that we as investigators, the community at large, and the family can get closure.
So were there tips that led you to search this area?
There was enough information through forensic interviewing, as well as what tangible evidence we have recovered from the scene, that suggests we need to concentrate and focus right here in this area. Now, it doesn't mean that we will net the results.
Okay, so we have two more things I want to look at quickly. So I'm going to share this link with you guys in the chat in case you want to watch the rest of this. Sharon, I'm so glad that you're here. But I do want to go through just a couple things, and then I'm going to jump off here and go float for like 2 hours and just listen to music, because I've had an emotional morning with my family leaving and stuff. It's just been tough on my heart. And then these stories that we talk about, of course, I know it's tough on your guys' heart too. So I'm just going to go relax for a little bit. But before we get to that, I want to look at this article, and then there is a petition I wanted to share with you guys. So Kentucky State Police find body of infant consistent with baby missing for a month, 5 arrested. The Kentucky State Police says it has located an infant's body consistent with 8-month-old Miya Tucker Rudd, who was last seen by family in May. Police said the decomposed body was found inside the family's home, hidden in a concealed manner, around 1:15 p.m. on Friday. After investigators process the scene, the baby will be taken by Ohio County Coroner's Office and transported to the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office in Louisville. The investigation is ongoing by Kentucky State Police. The child was first declared missing by state police earlier this month after the agency said it conducted a search warrant and welfare check at the family's home, but the infant was not there. Police said the child had not been seen by other family members since May. The family's home is in Reynolds Station, Kentucky, about 90 miles southwest of Louisville. The welfare check on the baby came after the girl's mother, Tesla, and her father were arrested at a motel in Owensboro on Wednesday with no information on the baby's whereabouts. The parents were in possession of a large amount of drugs, including fentanyl, a police spokesperson told Fox News Digital. That's not exactly accurate. I don't believe in the welfare check, but let me read, because I want you guys to see the rest of this. We tried to interview the parents, and they're not being very cooperative with our investigation on this. Trooper Corey King of the Kentucky State Police told Fox News on Friday. They were both charged with first-degree trafficking in controlled substance greater than 2 grams of methamphetamine, trafficking of illegal drugs, trafficking marijuana, first-degree child abuse, abandonment of a minor, and engaging in organized crime and possession of paraphernalia. The child's parents were allegedly found in a hotel room with large amounts of drugs, including fentanyl. Maya's grandfather, Ricky Smith, who stayed with the baby and her parents, allegedly used the home as a base for trafficking, and a variety of drugs were found at the home during the search. He has been charged with drug crimes, child abuse, and endangering the welfare of a child. Maya's grandmother, Billy Smith, was arrested on Friday and charged with second-degree domestic violence assault after police discovered she had an outstanding warrant from October of 2023. And then, as police entered the Smiths' home, officers saw 37-year-old Timothy Roach throw unprescribed Suboxone under his vehicle. He was charged with second-degree possession of a controlled substance and first-degree prescription controlled substance not in a proper container. Anyone with additional information is asked to call 270-826-3312. Then the last thing we're going to look at, I need to grab the link to it so you guys can see. Mayla's mom shared this with me to share with you guys, and it is a petition for Maya's Law. needs some more signatures. I'm going to drop this in the chat before we read through it. Hey, Roro. Enjoy your well-deserved float and pool. Thank you, Kimberly. Dang, why is the link is so long? I don't know if it's going to work. Let me see. I don't see another place to share it, and that's unfortunate because the link is very long. And if it doesn't work where you can click it in the chat, let me know, and I'm going to make a community post with the link so that you can click it, because I don't know about this. Somebody try to click on it, though, and let me know. Hey, Jordan. Thank you for being a member for 28 freaking months. Holy wow. Thank you. And happy Sunday. It works. Oh, my gosh. Yay. Okay, thank you, guys. You're right, Natasha. I'm going to put it in a community post, too. We will see. I'll do both. That is awesome, though, because the second one, Bikram said. Okay. It's such a long comment. It's breaking it into two. So, all right. Who protects the innocent? It says why this petition matters. Children or babies born into an unsafe family or care, the system fails where it is weak. Too often, children are the ones who suffer. They have no voice and no options. It is up to us as a society to help step in and protect those who cannot protect themselves. We have a system to help prevent and fight crime and protect each other as best we can. It does not always work, but we do the best we can. The system often struggles with limited resources and not enough help in many gray areas and multi-factor situations. We cannot allow these faults of our system to continue to affect innocent children. We have to fight for them as much as possible. So most of us are now aware of the story of Miya Rudd. If she was an innocent baby if not, she was an innocent baby whose life was cut short due to drug-addicted parents. I do not know the circumstances around her death, and it doesn't matter. The outcome for Miya was a loss that she never had a choice on. Maya's umbilical cord tested positive for meth when she was born, but her and her parents may have already left the hospital prior to that coming back. Maya's parents, however, had previously lost custody of their other children. My proposal is this. In an effort to do all we can to protect the innocent, we should set a law, Maya's law, that simply prevents parents whom have lost custody of children and have not been able to regain that custody from keeping newly born children. There needs to be a plan in place to make sure these parents are clean, able to pass drug tests and court-ordered programs to gain custody of their children back. It's not a law to prevent family from being together. It's a law to protect the innocent from a very lost and unsafe parent or home. Miya can no longer be here, but we can help the future babies through her memory, if be that a sad one. So it's really interesting because I know this needs to be like a federal law, because I do know that in the state I came from, in West Virginia, if you have your children taken, you cannot take your babies home from the hospital. Now, you can probably move states because we've seen that in other cases. I'm not even going to mention who, but in other cases with missing children where their parents have lost custody in other states and then went on to move away and have a baby and be able to keep them. Thank you guys for signing that. I appreciate that so much. So I do think that this needs to be a thing, and it needs to be federal because there just doesn't need to be any little loopholes for people to get around. Not true in Tennessee or Indiana, unfortunately. In West Virginia, it is. But like I said, now I don't know. I just know that I've heard in other cases where there are children missing that we've talked about. The parents had lost custody to previous children in other states and then moved to, one was actually Tennessee, and were able to take the baby home from the hospital. And in other places too. Oh, let me see. I need to catch Rexy's. Oh, Rexy, thank you for being a member for 10 months. And you're the best, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. You guys are too good to me, and I just appreciate you guys. I wish it were. I just know those don't have that law. That's crazy. So I didn't know that. I had assumed that people, I don't know, that it was maybe in Tennessee it had happened because I don't know. Because like I said, moving from other states and stuff, I don't know. I agree with the law, but do you think it will lead to more home births and hiding babies? Meg, maybe. Maybe so. Because I know people who, back when I was using, I knew someone who never went to the doctor when they were pregnant because they were using and didn't want to get clean. I just think that's so selfish, though. How can you do that? I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's very, very infuriating. The more I hear, the angrier I get. Absolutely. Me too, Crown Crochet. I'm sorry to come on and make you guys angry today. Thanks, Julie. It's not my petition, but I do think that it would be a good thing. This should be a federal law, as should checks of kids being pulled into homeschooling. You know, when we talked about that day, I got a few comments. People were very offended that I said that. And look, I don't mean everyone who pulls their kids out of school and puts them in homeschool is wrong or doing it to hide or whatever. I just think that sometimes the minority are. And so that's why you should be checking on those kids. And what'd you do, Michelle? It's another embarrassing moment for me today. There have been many. I'm sorry. That just got me tickled because it sounds like me. Like I'm embarrassing myself all the damn time. All right, you guys. Oh my God. Both of her other children placed out of the home. Oh my goodness gracious. My bestie, who's in recovery, lost her oldest daughter due to drugs. And when she got pregnant again, they came and took the baby from the hospital. Yep, I've seen that. But, however, she is now clean and has her girls back. And I'm so happy to hear that. All right, you guys. So I'm going to let you go. People pull their kids out because the schools have gone woke, and I don't blame them. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who have good, a reason that they feel is a good reason, or, something that's not harmful or to hide the children. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that most that do pull their kids out and put them on homeschool do it for those kind of reasons. But I do think that we should still be checking on the kids that are getting pulled, just because even if it's just 5% that pull them out for nefarious reasons, they still need to be checked on. But I don't care if people come and check on my kids. Why? I'm not doing anything wrong. Anything to keep kids safe. Absolutely. Andrea, thank you for being a member for 15 months, and thank you. Back on your account today. All right, you guys. I know, Crime Crochet. Me too. It makes me angry too. Happy Father's Day, or Family Day, as I say. Happy Father's Day, you guys. Happy Father's Day, Adrienne, and all you guys in here who are dads, or moms in here who are dads too. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys so much. And I appreciate the, y'all are getting me all jumbled. See, I misspeak all the time. I appreciate the membership milestones. B Crumbs, And I appreciate you making sure that I see them, because I definitely don't want to miss them. All right, you guys, I'm going to go. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely Father's Day. And I might see you tonight. I know Jen was wanting to do some behavior panel reviews of the Karen Reed stuff. And we might do that. I'm not sure. But yeah, if we do, I hope to see you there, and I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chat. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.